Okay. Today, we've answered the attendance question. Let's do the bell ringer now. If you know what time the clock reads, type it in the chat. If not, don't stress. We're going to go over learning time today. Okay. So 11 o'clock is correct. Good job. The shorthand points to 11. The longhand points to 12. Okay, we're going to do a lesson on telling time today, and then we have a homework assignment that's 10 problems, and most people have been able to finish it in class. So let's get started. I didn't reset these. Oopsies. All right, so with telling time, it is important to know how to count by fives. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 is what I mean by that. So because when you count on a clock, there's the 12 for the hour, 1 through 12 for the hour, but then there's also 1 through 12 for the minutes. And so what I like to think of is I see the 2 and I multiply it by 5 to get my number of what the minutes are. So practice counting to 60 by fives. When we count by fives, we're adding faster. So just know your multiples of 5. It'll help you tell time easier. You guys might be thinking, Miss W, why are you teaching us how to read clocks? I don't even have a real clock in my house that has hands. I just use a clock with digital clock. And you're absolutely correct, sir. There isn't many clocks around anymore that are analog, but it's still good to know just in case you're in a situation where you need to know how to read one. And it's just a good essential skill to have. But a good refresher, digital clocks read hour and then minutes past the hour. Clock hands. The clock has 2 hands. The larger hand in this photo is on the 12 and the shorter hand is the 5. So when we're thinking about a clock, it has 2 hands, a short hand and a long hand, or the big hand and the little hand. The short hand or the little hand is the hours, and the long hand or the big hand is on minutes. So in this picture right here, we know it's 5 o'clock because the short hand is pointing to the 5 and the minute hand is pointing to the 12, which is the top of the hour. So on the hour, aka 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so on, the long hand always points towards the 12, the minute hand is always at the 12, and the short hand points to the hour. In the same way that the minute hand will move around the clock, showing that 1 hour has passed, when the minute hand moves completely around the clock, the short hand will also move to the next hour. So in order for it to be 1 hour elapsed, the minute hand has to go all the way around the 60 for it to move to the next hour. The numbers 1 through 12 on your clock show the hour. The shorthand points to the hour. These 12 numbers are also used to show minutes. Using the longhand, the numbers are read in 5-minute increments. So 1 means 5 minutes, 2 means 10, 3 means 15, and so on. So we're able to look at it by knowing that the longhand will tell us the minutes. So if it's on 7, that means 35 minutes. And the shorthand will tell us the hour. So if it's on a 9, that means it's 9. And then the longhand's on 7, it's 9:35. So telling time, pretty easy if you guys know how to do if you know your multiples of 5, which you do, and you can read a picture, which I know you guys can. So we're going to do some practice problems now, and then I'll give you guys the assignment. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you know the answer to the first one.
3.
3 o'clock.
Good job, guys. So you know it's 3 o'clock because the short hand's on the 3, and then the long hand is at the 12. So the only downside about the analog clock is it won't tell you AM or PM, where a digital clock will. So you just have to know if it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, this next clock, let's have Jordan. What time is it?
On the second one?
Mm-hmm.
2:05.
Yep, good job. So we know that because the shorthand's pointing towards the 2 and the longhand's pointing towards the 1, which 1 times 5 is 5. So 2:05 is the time. 5 after 2, that's not really the way we speak anymore. I know that like my grandparents will say that, like, oh, it's 15 till noon, or it's 3:15, but we don't really use that. You can say 5 after 2, but that's not how we speak.
I turned to Mike and yelled, "Will you quit making me fight
Okay.
people twice?"
Does anyone want to answer this next one?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Armando.
9:45.
9:45.
Eight.
It
Sorry,
looks-
my bad. It's 8:45. My bad.
Yep.
I-
It looks like you have the minutes right. Okay, 8:45, final answer. Yep, 8:45 is the correct time. We know that because the shorthand is in between the 8 and the 9. So until it hits the 9, it's still 8 o'clock. And then we know the longhand, the minute hand is pointing towards the 9, so it's 8:45. Or you can say 15 till 9, but we don't speak like that. All right, this one is really hard to see because it's, I don't know why it's like so light. The photocopy that I took just wasn't a good one. But it looks like the shorthand is in between the 3 and the 4, and the minute hand is in between the 4 and the 5. So type your answer in the chat if you think you know what it is.
3:21.
3:23 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those that's kind of like when there's not the
Yeah,
individual
yeah,
little
it looks
tick.
kind of like if it's like it's either 3:22 or 3:23. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Because it looks more like 3:22, but at the same time it also looks more like 3:23. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Same
there's
thing.
not the like ticks on the clock, like you know how sometimes there's like 4 little ticks between the number, it's hard to exactly tell. So this one
yeah,
I would accept
that's what it's
320 to 322 or 323. So it says it's 322, but it could be 323. So either or is correct. Who is calling me? Stupid telemarketers. I enjoyed the time of quarantine when they weren't calling because they weren't at their job. Okay. Next one, the shorthand is in between the 10 and 11, and the minute hand is a little bit after the 8. So type your answer in the chat, or you can say it out loud.
10:41. It's also that one's also confusing.
Yeah,
Either 10:41 or 10:42.
yeah.
I think it's
I think it's
10:41
41.
because it's much closer to the 8, and if you look at the other one at 3:22,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
gotta
little
agree with
ahead.
Armando right there.
Yeah. Very good, guys. It is 10:41. One of those other ones. Yeah, there's not the tick marks. And who the heck would say 19 till 11? I don't know anyone that would say that. Okay, last one. We saved the easiest one for last. Both hands are pointing towards the 12. What time is it?
12.
Whoa, just 12.
Like
Like
yeah, just 12.
12:00.
So it's noon, 12, or midnight. Either of those answers is acceptable. So you guys rocked and rolled through that. So let me go in and assign the homework for you guys. It's just 10 problems on that website we used on Monday. Yeah, that's when I had you last. And then it's like matching. So if you think it's A, there's like a little drop down box and you'll just pick which letter you think it is. So if you have questions, you can unmute yourself or type them in the chat and I will help you. Some people got kind of stuck on some of them because they do like to use like 20 minutes till 4 or 10 after 12. But if you, it just helps if you like write down the number first. Like if it's 10:48, you write down 10:48, and then you can kind of think, oh, 10 minutes till 12, 12 minutes till 11 or whatever. So I assigned it. You might have to refresh your Google Classroom or exit the tab and open a new one to get it back. But that's all we're doing for the rest of class. Oh my God, they left me a voicemail. I'm not going to listen to that.